I think that if Russia attacks Ukraine, the NATO and the United States should be able to mount some kind of defense. Yes, absolutely. Appeasement doesn't work. This is not about being pro-war. History has shown time and time again that appeasement does not work as a strategy. If Russia attacks, they'll just involve. They'll get more and more. Ukraine isn't in NATO, so wouldn't that immediately escalate? Though Russia is escalating by attacking the Ukraine. Russia's not a part of NATO. Who cares? Do you think it's in NATO's strategic interest for Russia to take over the Ukraine? You can't cede ground on this. Eventually, we're going to have to deal with the Russia problem. The big difference between Russia and China is that China politically benefits from global stability, and Russia doesn't. We often lump Russia and China into the same groups, but they have very different strategies. China attempts world relevance by building trade relations and investing in developing countries and building strong infrastructure domestically and around the world in order to facilitate its growth into a first world nation. Russia is a hollowed out shit pit filled with oligarchs. They are not economically stable. They're not going to be economically stable. They don't care about economic stability. What they care about is creating a series of buffer states by destabilizing democracies around them, which is why they have such an aggressive intelligence doctrine when it comes to promoting disinfo in other countries. Russia is a country that would take the world down with it. China wouldn't. China is not going to start World War III over Taiwan. Russia might. Russia is one of those countries where I legitimately think like regime change might actually be a viable option. Call me an imperialist if you want, but they do sleep on quite a few nukes, and they do not have the same incentives as China to maintain world stability. I think that of any country in the world, Russia is undeniably the greatest threat to global stability. Yeah, Russia is dying. Yeah, it's just. You understand what I'm saying, though, right? It's really about incentive structures. Even North Korea is privileged in this respect because North Korea, if they ever behaved badly enough, would no longer benefit from implicit Chinese protection. And if they no longer benefit from implicit Chinese protection, North Korea is gone. They're maintained as a buffer state to keep US controlled, essentially, South Korea, from having a border with China. But if North Korea acts badly enough that they can no longer reasonably be protected by China, North Korea is going to be gone in a year, easily. China will make it clear to the West that they're no longer interested in defending it, and there will be a unified Korea. So North Korea knows that not acting too crazy is necessary to keep them from losing their status as a buffer state. Russia does not have that incentive. Russia is massive, hollowed out, uncoordinated, barely democratic, oligarchical. It's not the incentive structures are simply not the same. Yeah, NATO already has troops in Ukraine. Vaush, hang on, why is Russia more of a threat than China? Because geopolitically, China benefits from stability and Russia benefits from instability. Because Russia has a massive nuclear arsenal, very little internal discipline or cohesion, and not much incentive to maintain good relationships with countries outside of its immediate, periphery. China has fucks to give. Russia's dooming. Okay, basically, China is like on its Sigma grind set, and Russia is like the doomer standing on top of a roof holding a gun, like wondering whether they want to fall or shoot themselves. Like that's the thing, okay? Except in this analogy, the person who wants to kill themselves also has access to the world's second largest nuclear stockpile. Ooh, you know who we should who I wish was here? Shoeonhead. I wonder what Shoeonhead would have to say about my interventionist take right there. I think that you could make a reasoned argument for what I just said.